Hello everyone, I'm meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 4 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now we've got breaking news into the newsroom is that ABC has decided to reinstate Jimmy Kimmel's late night show in the wake of criticism over his comments about the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Now, officials with the network said this on Monday. Now, a statement from the network said, quote, "We have spent the last days having thoughtful conversations with Jimmy, and after those conversations, we reached the decision to return the show on Tuesday." Now, many ABC, end quote. Now, many in ABC suspended Kimmel indefinitely after comments he made about Kirk, who was killed on September 10th. Now, in a monologue, Kimmel said at the time, quote, "Many in MAGA land are working very hard to capitalize on the murder of Charlie Kirk," end quote, and that, quote, "the MAGA gang was desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them," end quote. Now, Kimmel has hosted, Jimmy Kimmel Live on ABC since 2003 and has been a fixture in television and comedy for even longer. He is also well known as a presenter, having hosted the Academy Awards 4 times. Backlash to Kimmel's comments about Kirk was swift. Nexstar and Sinclair, 2 of ABC's largest affiliate owners, said they would be pulling Jimmy Kimmel Live from their stations. Others, including several fellow comedians, came to his defense. President Donald Trump, one of Kimmel's frequent targets, posted on social media that Kimmel's suspension was, quote, "great news for America," end quote. He also called for other late-night hosts to be fired. Kimmel was asked in an interview with Variety this past summer if he was worried that the administration would come after comedians. He expressed concern that a crackdown could be on the way. He said, quote, "Well, you'd have to be naive not to worry a little bit, but that can't change what you're doing," end quote.
The things we should be working on, we seem to be working against.
Now, in other news, we've got news out of Pitt County, where the sheriff's office is asking for your help in identifying a possible criminal. Deputies are asking for the public's help in finding this person who they say stole from a store in Pitt County. The theft happened Friday night at the Dollar General Market located at 2181 Highway 33 West. If you have any information on this case, you are asked to call the sheriff's office at 252-830-4141. You can find that number at the bottom of your screen, or you can reach out to Crime Stoppers at 252-758-7777. Finally, with some pretty happy and amazing news, NASA has announced its latest class of astronauts. Now, over 8,000 applicants, only 10 were selected. NBC's Marissa Parra has more.
NASA's 2025 class is out. It was just announced today, and 10 candidates out of 8,000 applicants were selected. More than half of the 10 are women, and they have a diverse range of backgrounds. The majority of them are test pilots or were test pilots at some point. We have a geologist, we have an anesthesiologist, and we even have one who flew on that private SpaceX mission, Polaris Dawn. She will now join the ranks of those 10 candidates who are going to try to become NASA astronauts. So they're going to go through 2 years of training. They will get trained in everything from land and water survival, space health. They'll study geology. They'll train in high-performance jets. That will span 2 years. And then, of course, once they graduate, they will become what's called flight eligible. They will join NASA's astronaut corps. And it is very possible, given the timeline here of the upcoming Artemis 2, Artemis 3 missions, these will potentially be among the astronauts who not only are brought back to the moon for the first time since 1970, but then potentially to Mars.
Thank you, Marissa, for that report. Again, very cool stuff, very exciting stuff. Is that, again, the next generation of space explorers has been announced. That doesn't give you chills. Well, you might not be a scientist. Anyways, let's talk about some more science. In fact, some atmospheric science. We'll focus on the tropics. We've got our eyes on 2 areas of concern. The first one we'll highlight is that X, the red X you're seeing on your screen, and the cluster of thunderstorms around it. Right now, it is just a weak low pressure system, again, with that thunderstorm activity going on, but it will be moving into an area that will be a little bit better for its developmental process. Once it reaches that red swath you're seeing there on your screen, that's when National Hurricane Center is projecting it will have a high chance of tropical development, potentially becoming our next named system. Next name up on the list is Umberto, followed by Imelda, but the other X on your screen, that orange one you're seeing, that one is a little bit more concerning for eastern North Carolina, in that it is going to be closer and it may actually impact the east if this system again decides to cruise up the Atlantic coast. Now, there's certainly still some uncertainty in that forecast. Right now, we've got a 10% chance of tropical development with that X over the next 48 hours. Over the next 7 days, though, once it kind of gets closer to the Turks and Caicos Islands, moves north of the Dominican Republic and Haiti, that's when it has a slightly better chance of developing into a tropical system. Hurricane Center giving that a 50% chance. But do want to, of course, talk about what we are tracking with Gabrielle. Right now, 120 mile an hour maximum sustained winds. Pressure has held so far today at 955 millibars, and it is moving north at 10 miles an hour. But again, this is a system that will be pulling away from eastern North Carolina over the next several days. This is essentially as close as it will get to our coastline, and then from there it just continues to separate, potentially impacting Europe, or at least the UK and possibly France, by the time we get to Sunday of this upcoming weekend. For now, Washington right now looks a little cloudy. We did have some of those clouds extend over inland areas of eastern North Carolina. We will wake up to some of these clouds still present over the east by tomorrow morning, but 81 degrees right now comes with a dew point in the mid-50s, which this time of year is a blessing. Feels pretty nice outside. 82 degrees in Greenville comes with an easterly breeze at 7 miles an hour. Dew points again at around 57 degrees. Pirate Cam showing again similar conditions, a little bit more sunshine over central Pitt County than what we're looking at right now over the Pamlico River in Beaufort County. But regardless of where you're at, most of us are registering air temperatures in the low 80s to mid 70s, anywhere within that range. And you're probably watching from eastern North Carolina. As far as your winds go, currently northeasterly at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Tomorrow morning, we're not going to see much of a breeze. Very little wind expected until we get into tomorrow afternoon. But sunshine will be a little bit more difficult to come by than what we had earlier today. Now, could we catch some sun breaks? Yeah, we certainly could, and I do think we will later on tomorrow afternoon. But tomorrow morning, don't be shocked if you walk out the door and you're walking out into clouds. Just know that by the time we get into the afternoon, those temperatures are going to be up and the sunshine will be out in full. Now, we've got that cold front sitting further back towards the west. That will be cruising over eastern North Carolina, coming up late Thursday into early Friday. And for those of you who are Pirate football fans, that may set off an alarm bell for you because, of course, we've got Pirate football taking on Army at 7:30 at Dowdy-Ficklin this Thursday night. So again, these showers and storms may be coming at an inopportune time, but we're hoping that, again, with us first alerting you to that chance of thunderstorms for the Pirate game, you'll be able to make some plans to hopefully avoid any sort of major headaches, whether that's tailgating with a little bit more tent coverage than you usually have, or perhaps maybe bringing in a poncho or a light rain jacket into the game. Those, again, are strategies to help you avoid the worst of the weather. Now, the showers and thunderstorms will be lingering through Friday as that front stalls near eastern North Carolina. Could linger into the weekend, but rain chances will subside a bit as we head from Friday into both Saturday as well as Sunday. That's all we have time for today's 4 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up tomorrow morning at 7:10 a.m. with Jim and Gigi. Until then, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your Monday. We'll see you back here tomorrow.